Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the afternoon session of the ecommerceIQ Summit today. I think we're going to continue this afternoon on with just a little bit more specific, how to really optimize, I think, your e-commerce initiative so that you really maximize the potential. For the next session, we're going to be talking about Omnichannel. And for this session, we're very lucky to have Bhumsaran Amthong, who's SVP of Marketplace Central Group. He is the found e-commerce for Tesco Lotus in Thailand and was previously at Carrefour and BCG. And I think he's going to be talking a little bit about his experience of how you could really leverage both offline and online channel to maximize the e-commerce potential for any of your business, whether you're a retailer or a brand. Please welcome Mr. Bhumsaran.
Hi. This is really new to me. I was expecting a table where I could tie my notes and everything, having to stand up here. It's like holding a gun without any bullets. Make me feel safe. Actually, the organizer's been too kind to say actually, started Tesco online, which is not true. The UK started like 10 years ago, and they only put the whole business under one person, which is me, for a little while, that's all. So I have no way of claiming to be the one who started the Tesco. But anyway, so here we go. The topics today is Omnichannel. So again, I've by no means coming up here trying to claim to be an e-commerce expert or Omnichannel expert for that matter. These are the subject that I've been learning for a while. So what I try to share with you is what I've learned in the past year, really, of what the topics entails and what it can develop into in the future. Right. So I break the session down to three-ish half parts. The first part is why. Why traditional business has to adapt. Obviously things are changing. There's a lot more reasons to say things cannot be the same. The second part, I'll try to explain of what actually has happened through one example, which is the Topshop case study that we picked up, and perhaps be able to share with you what have they done there as a traditional business, turning omnichannels. And last but not least, the transformations that required for the omnichannel to happen. Okay. First part. So, obviously, things are different. The way we live our lives are different now. Coming from traditional retail that I've been in, we're talking about a company that's been around for more than 50 or 60 years. In case of Central, we're talking about 80 years. We're talking about the personnel from pre-X-Gen to very early X-Gen, and now we're talking Y generation. So a lot of things here could be a no-brainer to some, but for some, it could be something very, very new. So even myself, whoops, sorry, still not used to this. The customer changed the way they shop now. The customer changed the way they live. We find ourselves plugged in from the very beginning. The minute we wake up, we can't exercise without a little piece of gadgets at our wrist. We listen to our music, hear our news through whatever media that push through our mobile phones. We can't even eat without consulting our mobile phones now, or our friends through Facebook. Travel, getting there, Uber, even the bus route now. I don't think anyone can actually memorize your, what do you call it, the tube stop, not tube here, is it BTS stops, going up and down Bangkok Main Street. So we have to consult them, travel, where to stay, there's loads of things. And of course, buying stuff, you can't stop yourself from searching online first before you start buying, even before you're thinking about where to buy them. So things obviously change, and as a traditional business, we have to adapt to that change. So the expectation of customers has changed, of course. Before, we can kind of, when information is not that rich, is not that widespread, access to information is less limited, we can actually tell them what they want to buy, i.e., whatever we have for them that we sell. At the moment now, you can't do that anymore. It's about what customer want to buy. Our direction drives based on what customer wants, not from what we want to do. So from right product, obviously everyone studied there. If you are FMCG, even manufacturer, you start with the product. The product it's not longer viable anymore to have just good products. It's how much you price them. You have left, right, and center, e-commerce. Sorry, not e-commerce, an online business comparing prices for you. Places you want to buy, having the right place at the right time. The marketing's the 3 P, isn't it? Yeah, 4 Ps. Is it 5 or 6 Ps now? I'm not sure. And the right time, and that's not not possible anymore. So now we're talking about the right engagement. Right engagement means, was it for me? Are they talking to me? Are they not talking to the masses? I'm not the masses. I want to be unique. Personalization, that will come to mind when you're talking about the right engagement. Not just the product anymore. It's about what content is right for me. How does it make me feel? How does it appeal to my desire? The right service. If you don't talk to me nicely, that is not good. In my previous business, we've been rated the best service, delivery service, delivering grocery, because we're very polite. We train our staff to, the why thing, and we even carry the product to your kitchen, stock it up on your shelf, and pat the dog's head and everything. So that's the kind of service we're providing. The other day, I was talking to my president. The company we work for didn't recognize her name, so she called her Jie, right, which is like a Chinese, pronouns, and obviously that doesn't make her feel very happy. So again, services is everything. To put it more kind of contextual, we're talking about the return policies, replace policy, refund policies. All that has to be addressed. Fit for purpose. Again, it's kind of similar to personalization. Was that for me? And at what point? If I'm in the store, I want you to address me in the store. Now you have mobile capabilities that can track whereabouts you are, and because they know that you know where they are, they want to be served accordingly. And of course, it cannot be any Mr. Smith or something. They want you to know their name and treat them right. What point in time? Again, if you're at home, that's desktops, the experience you get through the machine in front of you, the customer expects you to serve them right as well. And when they're on the go, when they're on the mobiles, the machines in front of them has to be adaptive enough, responsive enough to address them. So simply put, customers don't think in terms of channel anymore. They want something that could provide to them what they need quickly, easily, and last but not least, cheaply as well. Okay, so what does it mean really to us, retail? Well, I think the difference between traditional business and a pure play, if I may say, is the physical assets that we have. So the only way to differentiate ourselves being traditional business is to utilize what we actually have today. If I go through the evolutions of the retail business model, is that you just have a traditional, you have a building, a shop. People come in, they don't have information anywhere, come in, they see what they have, they buy them, or else they leave. Once you get to e-commerce, people have a choice now to go online than searching. Now you have a lot more options, different sites, different platform, comparison platform, you name it. Once you get to Omnichannel, you're talking about having 2 separate channels now. You have you can actually call, as a business called OfficeMate, right? I'm not sure if you, of course, I think everyone heard of it. They started off selling stationeries through call center. So with that done, that means they can eliminate all the back end of having nice shops and everything else, and having stocks that are not actually being utilized for them. Now, a massive warehouse, hundreds of call center agents, and taking orders, and then they grew up to be $1 billion, $1 billion baht company very, very quickly. So you combine that with the online, you get this thing that we call omnichannel. But the thing is, omnichannel is not, doesn't mean you have online, doesn't mean you have a call center and you have it in store and you can call yourself omnichannel. If the back end is not tied in, it's not omni, because omni means one, well, no, omni means a lot of shit. Sorry, whoops. Sorry, pardon my French there. So it means a lot, right? But the core system, the end, has to be singular. So, okay. So what I try to say now is that you have to have access through every channel for the customers, and at the same time provide the core service that will support those as well. Okay, let me give you some example. The giant there, of course, everyone recognize them. Recently, they just announced the close of store, almost 300 stores there. There's a big structural shift that's happening, especially in the grocery market. E-commerce replaced all the chunky items, specific items like fresh products. They will go to the shops on the high street that knows their name, knows what their requirements. So it makes the big giant that stamp out the same model like a hypermarket had to shrink themselves. If you look at the growth, the online growth for Walmart is 22% vis-a-vis that same store sales growth, which is like a like for the retail people, grown very, very small in comparison. So what they did is to make it convenient for the customers. They have a lot of click and collect locations for them. They improve the mobile experience, and again, fulfillment center in the end. Same thing that I had give you example on the Office Mate there. For this one, we had I actually had a personal experience in that. I was in a meeting with a colleague of mine. The funny way though is that in the past, if you shop in traditional retail, the whole family they shop independently, right? And my colleagues flew from Indonesia, I think, and then in the middle of the meeting, he has this interrupted email from his wife and saying, "What else you want to add to the cart?" So the wife's actually shopping online. The son actually went in with a mobile phone, started scanning things, add to the same basket. The dads, instead of shopping, he started deleting things out because he's the one going to be paying for everything. So it's kind of a way to bring the whole family together, kind of bring shopping experience of a family into existence. Okay, so what Walmart did was try to prevent something not very pleasant happening to them. On the other hand, Macys, they perceive themselves to be omnichannel leader because they try to embrace what they have as an asset to them, which is obviously their stores. So they went through the store portfolio and see which one actually support the online. So the one that are closest are the one not supporting the fulfillment capabilities that they're looking off. I mean, they're looking to grow. So the online growth is 25%. Of course, they really have not much choice there because on the same store sale has even negative. The growth is very, very small. Okay, so what they did, they created a lot of things, of course, that the online would do. E-receipt, you can browse in store, and then you can actually pick up the product. You can order it online, you can get the product delivered to your home, you can pick it up at the store. But what I think is intriguing for them is that they're looking to maximize the actual asset again by putting technology in store. Because if you look at the last one, when you have this smart fitting room, you can't have that experience on a mobile phone, right? But you can actually have that experience in store. So if you browse online, you bought something, you come to the store, you pick the product up, you go into this fitting room, you start seeing more product again. So it's kind of a vicious cycle of purchases. So there's in the research that if you can actually have customers buying from online as well as in the store, your basket increases by 2.5 times. And obviously, that's a good thing. So it seems that Macys is actually going in the right direction there. And that, kind of case in point, is not just the traditional business only that venturing into an online, but the pure play online player coming in to the traditional business too. You have Amazon, Warby Parker, Birchbox. All these companies start having physical store where a customer can actually experience the physical product and another way of engaging customers as well. In the past, we don't really see this happen, right? But it's not just implied to just a physical and an online store alone. This actually happens with communication as well. We used to have company addressing customers like Amazon to hello Amazon. But sorry, I didn't mean that. I mean an organization addressing the customer using the entity of the organization. But now you start seeing a company using a name or a face of a person addressing the customers. Like if I give you an example, a retail, a grocery, Happy Fresh, I would get an email every morning says Sarah from Happy Fresh. Tesco as well, Tesco UK. There's one incident where the customers went in Tesco store and they couldn't find onion rings. So he went online, it's Facebook, Tesco Facebook, and he complained that this is his wife's. He's got married and she's craving onion rings, and you're out an onion ring. It's going to cost me our marriage. So what happened? This guy, the guy who actually read the mail, went out, bought onion rings, and put an onion ring in the ring box. And then the next time the customer come in, he get the staff to give that that. He opened it up, and it had the onion rings in that box. Then this whole frenzy of social media, take a hook on this one. They start having conversation like, I don't believe you just did that, and the guy's like I hope this onion rings in the box and saved your marriage, and the whole thing started spinning up. So you can actually start doing something, and again. I used to talk with had a conversation with my VP at Tesco's that in retail you can't stop them from dislike us, but we have to give them enough reason to like us. There's no way we can eliminate all the problems that we have, availabilities, stuff going bad, expiries, long queue. You can't stop that because it's an ongoing business. But is there a way to make them like us? If you're arguing with someone you don't know, then you don't really care. You went all out with them, right? But the minute you know their name, the minute you know their stories, you're kind of treating that thing as a person now. So it's a personal relationships. And I don't think you can replace that personal relationship online. You can only forge that relationship offline, which is like in store or with your delivery person. Oops, sorry, delivery person, something similar. Okay, so let's jump to the Top Shop case study. Again, a lot of this thing, I have to say up front, I'm not an expert on even digital marketing or e-commerce, but I'm actually come from business side. But what I see here is that there's a trend now is that the product is just not enough. You have to have content. You need to give them reasons. You have to give them something that's inspiring for them to hooked on. It's about feeling now, isn't it? It's the word. I just learned this slang word. They say fin, right? I didn't know that. I thought fin is finished to me. I just realized it's feeling. A lot of people say that I wouldn't know a thing about slang in Thai, but I do. Anyway, so you have to give them this fin thing, for everything that customers want to buy, especially if you're not selling piece of meat or lettuce or vegetable. If you want to sell fragrance, you want to sell lingerie, you want to sell, something that can actually mean something to someone. Another thing that's important is that it's not just the story that goes behind it, but the actual content of the product. If you walk into a store and you see a tower, the best you get is about 4 lines saying, how thick the tower is it white or is it not white, and what's the size. But imagine that, if you just only see this picture of a tower on your computer screen, that 4 lines, of course, is not enough, right? You have to go into you want to lavish yourself with these Egyptian threads of 5,000, I don't know, whatever, something that gives the story, give life to the product that presented to them on the screen. Okay, another thing, because you're a traditional business, there are something unique about you. You've been around for ages. You're vintage. You're there to stay. Of course, for the case of Topshop. So what they did is to highlight what is a core competency. If you're new, people don't know what you're good at, right? But if you've been around for a while, people know what you're good at. So make sure you highlight those things. In the case of Topshop, the magazine. The content of the magazine, they have thousands, tens of thousands of followers. People are actually looking to these to guide them on the way they dress, the way they want to, expand their wardrobe and whatever else. So Topshop highlight this magazine content onto the website in the in-store experience that inspire customers and hopefully hook them. So that's content. Another one is obviously the mobile website everyone has. So what they try to do now, as I said, it was in store, it was online, and this is on the go, right? So this is on the go. So what everyone try to do now is try to capture the attention of the people. They on the phone for God knows how many hours a day, right? So when they're not in your shop, you want to have as much eyeball time as possible. So Topshop would have this mobile site. But the important thing is, I want to highlight, it's not what Topshop does, but a little thing like this, a little hamburger thing. I think all of us understand that means menu, right? But imagine that a lot of business in Thailand expanding. The reason you have e-commerce today is to expand the market. And the market is not just here in Bangkok and Metropolitan. It's the upcountry. If you show that little line there, and that person doesn't have, Apple phone or something, they wouldn't know what that means. If you walk into a market and show them what that means, and little box and little bag, they wouldn't know. So I remember an e-commerce expert that I went to his seminars. He mentioned that he walked around. He went to Rayong or something with this piece of paper and asked people in the street what that means. They don't understand it. So it's important that when you design, you want an eyeball, you want to experience, you want customers to experience you all the time. You have to give something that's relevant to them. Maybe something is not fashionable or tedious, even like a word like menu, that is more relevant than having a symbol that you think the whole world recognize. So end of the day is you have to know your audience of what you're selling to and who you're selling to, and everything has to be personalized. Okay. Blending online and offline. It has to make the customer feel that buying is inconvenient. I personally don't go to shops very much. I buy 5 T-shirts, same color at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm one of the most boring guy you can ever meet, actually. But, so that kind of into me, because if I actually bought a lot of shirt with the same size, same color, and I got that wrong, I want to make sure I can actually go and get the right size for me. So it's kind of a blending. What you want to do, not what you want to do, but what you have to do now is try to blur the line between the offline and the online. The only way you can do that is to make sure your back-end system, you have a system that links everything together. Or I not even linked everything together. It has to be just one system that tracks everything from inventory, from customer data, from order management. All that has to be one bit. Okay, engage social media. I don't think you will find one person in this room without a Facebook account. If you found a person without a Facebook account, you probably think that person must be a barbaric, right? So, right. Anyone without a Facebook account? No? See? Hello, no, I mean, oh yeah. Okay, well, it's kind of all right, it's kind of all right. I don't have one. Okay, so, but the thing is, majority of the people do have this thing, right? So, and they communicate with people. You can't live a day without engaging in social media. Last but not least, the in-store experience. That, again, I'm talking about leveraging what you have. That is the only assets that a pure play doesn't have yet as much as you. So make sure the experience there, even personal shopper, even tracking the person the minute they walk through your door with iBeacon, they're your loyal customer, give them a cup of tea. That was Tesco would do. You give them special discounts when you walk through because you know what they shop online, which category they view. Once they go past a certain section, you can actually provide that experience to them. Okay, so that's an example. Now a bit more of how we can make this happen. So in the end, we're talking about empowering customers. It's about anything, anytime, anywhere. That's omnichannel. You give the control to the customers. But there are a lot of things that prevent traditional business to offer that to our customers. Before going to the typical challenges, correct me if I'm wrong, but being in the corporations as big as Central, for the little time that I have, what I see are three things that limit this. The first one is they work in customer silo. So everyone has that database of customers. So you can never, this one customers, but they could be, the personality of this one customer in one database could be totally different from the other database of holding that same person. The second one is the legacy system limitation. You have a warehouse management controlling the stocks, and then you have another channel. If you want to go online, first thing you do is have a dark store, for instance. You have a stock dedicated to the dark store to make sure that's what your online customer is actually never shared, right? So the legacy system silo that's actually limit this. And last but not least is the organizational silo. When we try to go online, in my previous company, the first thing you think about is range. And you walk over to the merchandise team and you say, I don't think a bucket that costs 20 baht will sell well online. And they go like, what? Why? Because the delivery cost will cost 100 already. And we go, okay, don't sell it then. Then what else can you sell? As a business, you can't just go and pick any product. You have to go through the channel of merchandising. But if the sales of online is minute, but the KPIs is actually on the total sales, they wouldn't even look to you. So that means the incentive for the whole company has to be aligned. The target has to be aligned, and it has to be just one target, not the online and the offline target. So to repeat again, customer silo, organizational silo, and legacy system silo that we have to overcome in order to make omnichannel possible. To actually nitpick some example, whoops, sorry. The first one, itemization of products. If I give you an example of a fashion product, right? If you're pure play, you gear towards that, you're kind of safe here. But if you're a traditional business, you would have only one product ID for that particular style of shirt. But for the size and for the color, you probably share the same product ID, and that is not possible online. You have to do a lot of hard work, try to straighten that out before you can make omnichannel possible. I mentioned earlier about disconnection in stock view, and it's not online real time. In a traditional business, it doesn't have to be online real time because that causes a bomb, right? So you have to make that online real time, which has to be revamping of your whole legacy systems and plug-in and whatever. A lot of the IT system that we had in the past is actually developed in-house. So it's not a module you can start plugging off and get the new version and plug it back in. So a lot has to be done there. One thing that would cost the opportunity in number 2 is the availability of the product. In certain product, you're going to have excess stock. In certain type of product, you're going to have no product to sell at all, be they online or offline. So opportunity cost there. Complicated promotions. I'm talking from a unique experience at Central. Then I went to Power Buy to buy an aircon, and it took the salesman half an hour to explain to me which card I should use to get the best deal. So I can use the loyalty program to get certain deduction in terms of baht, or I can use certain point to get percentage reduction. And then on top of that, I could use credit cards A, B, and C to get another 10% discount. But if I use D, I can get free interest-free credits. And I got lost, and I said, please start again. He got a bit annoyed anyway. But in the end, after about 45 minutes, I managed to buy my aircon. Imagine you try to replicate that online. The problem is you're going to find your SVP, EVP trying to say, yes, we want the same experience online, because they think they can actually use the same kind of promotional program without having to create one campaign for online, one for offline. But the point is, you can't replicate that experience online because it's going to get so confusing, and customer will not understand, let alone yourself, because I didn't understand when they try to tell me. So at the moment we try to do a platform, and we have a marketing team sitting in front of us giving us all the requirements of how to do the different kind of promotion they want to do online. Imagine this. It's quite simple to say. You could say, buy X, get Y, right? But in the real, in the offline, you get buy X and Y, you get Z. Simple enough. But there are another version on top, like buy X, get Y, and you get selection of A to Z of the product you can choose from. You're trying to replicate that online, you're pretty much dead. Why? Even if you can actually do it online, the customer doesn't get bored trying to go through the whole menu list to make a purchase. Imagine they're trying to return that product at store. And if they only return the partial of the basket of what they bought from you, how's that going to work out in terms of returning loyalty points, in terms of the deduction that provided through the credit cards discount, through the loyalty program discount, which is impossible. So now, if you have one goal, the marketing of the offline cannot just go off in tangent and think of some magnificent program anymore. They have to think in terms of omnichannel, what makes sense for both channels. Well, that's very important. And then I spoke earlier about the limited product information, that Tao example that I've said before. Okay, so this gives you I just kind of summarize quite nicely, well, not the last slide, lucky you, almost there, of what actually it means for multi-channel and what does it mean for omnichannel. So if you look at the top picture, the planning is separate. This first one, I can only point to one, I think. Can't see it all. It's separate, right? The marketing is separate as well. The warehousing, separate. It's like a no-brainer if you start e-commerce for the first time. Logistic is separate. Even the checkout, and this is real headache. Imagine this. You have point of sale. If you want to do electronic point of sale, you have to jump through hoops of the Ministry of Commerce or something, right? They have to have someone who actually verified your system, your software systems, and for a marketplace, I think Ali would agree with me here. It's just really, really complicated. And again, deliveries is separated. But if you start looking at omnichannel, everything starts becoming lumped together. You have the same planning, same marketing team, the warehouse, one view of all the stocks across the stores. The best way to do this, I'll use example of Central again. If I have a customer in Chiang Mai, I want to be able to use a stock in Chiang Mai to fulfill that. But that will be very difficult to make it happen if you don't have a single stock view. That means if a customer buys one product at store, the whole stock of that of Central, not just that branch of the whole lot, has to get deducted by one. But at the moment, that's not possible because you have a stock not just in one location, but just one particular store that linked to a specific point of sale. So to link all that up, it will take a lot. But again, there's no escape. Someone has to get their hands dirty and get it done. Okay, so to read that out for you, under multi-channel, each channel drives its own technology and process, right? So it's a separate business silo. But on the omni-channels, it's integration of objectives, as the people, policies, and everything else, the method of doing things, and of course, the platform, one source. All right, okay, so it's pretty much what I try to boil down to. I separated it into two slides of what the omni-channel best practice could be. The first one is the front end. I've said all this before, I'll say it again. You have to have a seamless customer interaction point, i.e., you have to eliminate this connection between the customer database so you know exactly who that person are. Okay. The second one is a rich product content, the towel example, again. Apart from that, you have to give them the content that would inspire them, not just a product and a few lines of words. Third one, omni-channel friendly promotion. I mentioned earlier about having very complicated offline promotions campaigns vis-a-vis the online. Well, what's another thing that I haven't mentioned yet is the suggestion engine. We did try to sell something. Okay, customer, you want a whole load of range, right? You want as many SKUs as possible. But a lot of this SKU, if the customer buys that SKU alone, you're not going to make money out of it. Just think about the logistic cost is kind of out the window. It doesn't really make money. So the best way is once the customer select the product with very low GP, that's kind of took all your margin away. You have to have an engine that suggested other product they can actually buy it all together, and as a basket, you still make some money. Without that idea, that means you either have you do two things. You go through all the list of this product, you think you're going to make a loss, and you're going to sell that online. That means when the customer come in and look for that product, they won't find it, they won't come back to your website. But if you put it up without any proper engine that suggests related items that makes money, you're going to make a loss, right? So you have to think not just a product, but a product and a related that make the whole basket viable for you. Okay, 4, return, refund, replace service policies. Has to be clear. This is the only way to eliminate customers the chance that they come to your site and not shop. You want to give them all the reasons in the world to just buy and think later. E-ordering, a lot of people actually confuse this between a mobile platform that customer hold and e-ordering. The idea is if the customer walked into your shop, tried on a shirt, and didn't have the size, right? You want to be able to sell to them online. So if you take a typical device that the customer has, that means they have to log in under their name, right? And then the customer, the salesperson has to go through the menu in the customer phones. Imagine how tedious that would be, and then select the product and go on and pay. That doesn't really happen. But what you could do is to have an actual platform for your staff. That means when they log on under their name, and that tie into the incentive program. It's not about taking the phone of the customers and try to make them buy the stuff online because the stock is out offline, but to actually have a separate ones. So the back-end development is similar, but the customer fronting is different because of who actually make that order, the sales personnel or the customers, because that has to be identified quite clearly. And last but not least, again, the click-collect network. If you have your own physical stores, it's good to have click and collect because you make customer comes back to your shop, increases chance of your sales. But does not eliminate the fact that you should have a lot of partners, i.e. 7-Eleven, all this Family Mart out there, all the drop points as much as possible to make it convenient for the customers and actually make it cheaper for you to deliver. Even though it's almost the last mile, but it's better than to go to the last mile that you know where it is exactly and to go find a location of a customer's where sometimes you're not even home, right? On the back-end side, coming back to the same thing, integrated systems, itemization that I mentioned about size, colors, and materials have to have your unique ID. Good stock control, one view, again, tied all the stock together, whether it's in the shop, the warehouse, the online, everything. Payment process and logistics, you have to give the customers every option possible in terms of the pay, whether it could be credit cards, cash on delivery, credit card on delivery, transferred, pay points, whatever else you can name. Refund can be done in many ways. Fulfillment, according to the customers, the way they want it to be delivered. And last, data analysis. Without that, you can't have a proper product suggestions engine to support you. Without that, you don't know which customer you want to invest in, which product line you want to invest in or have in your stock. Okay, to summarize then, this is the last page, is that Omnichannel is all about empowering people. So simple, you just be a customer and say what you want, right? And then you doing it accordingly. Don't try to fit your solution because of your internal impediments on the customers. Try to see what they want to do and how they want to buy, how they want to engage with them. Give them the freedom. Convergence of online and offline is happening as we speak. The example showed you earlier, Macys, what else? Walmart, you have Amazon, all these pure play or traditional business, they all converged. And they try to blur the line between the offline and the online. Many challenges for a digital player to go omnichannel. I mentioned that earlier, the three things, right? The customer silo, the legacy system silo, and the organizational silo that you have to overcome. And at the end of the day, it's about integrating everything together and make it seamless for customers. And on that note, thank you very much.